What's up, ladies and gents, and welcome to something a little bit different. We are in Forza Horizon 5 technically today, or we are going to talk about it. And first of all, we are going to watch the announced trailer for the Hot Wheels DLC, and then we'll look at some gameplay, some driving around, and we're going to talk about the DLC, maybe upcoming DLC, the Hot Wheels DLC, expectations for it, etc. So yeah, that's the plan for today. So first of all, we are going to jump in here. We're going to make it a little bit quieter so that you can actually hear me. So yeah, nothing much to see. Obviously, we are apparently in the sky, or at least they showed the sky there. We have a lava there. We have some mountains there, but so far so good. And here we are with the Hot Wheels cars. We have a Camaro, the Hot Wheels Camaro in the middle. I think that's the Brabham and that's the Mosler. The Mosler is a GT3 spec car. Now obviously it's here we have a cover car and then some more Hot Wheels cars. The car list obviously is published already. And let's quickly stop here. And if this is, like it says, all in-game 4K footage here, and if this is an actual track we are going to drive, then like holy moly, this is going to be rather interesting. Although I'm not so sure how much real racing you're going to do on it. Like if you've played the recent Hot Wheels game, which I wasn't a big fan of, but that's a different topic. But you obviously have a lot of full throttle and a lot of... I wonder how it works with the Forza Horizon 5 physics. Now, in Forza Horizon 3, one of the biggest criticisms, obviously we already had a Hot Wheels DLC in Forza Horizon 3, and one of the biggest criticisms was the car handling on these Hot Wheel tracks. Ramp things. I don't know what it's called, honestly. So that was one of the biggest issues that the game had, or that the DLC had, was the handling on those tracks. And that was one of the things that a lot of players repeatedly complained about. So I wonder if they get it right this time, if you actually have some pretty good handling on those and how it works. And looking at all of these pieces, now if you own the DLC, you can use these to build tracks on the regular map as well. Like those are not, when you own that, limited to the DLC world that we are going to get. And it will work like in the previous parts, so you basically get an own world, a new little map. But the parts here, you can use those to build your own tracks in the real world that then other people that do not own the DLC can also drive. So that's interesting. You can drive them, you cannot use them yourself to build a track if you do not own the DLC, that is. So that's kind of an interesting little detail that we already were leaked. So obviously here you see some drifting there, and this is very interesting. Now the Subaru in its own right is an absolutely amazing car, but that's not what I was going at. What I want to mention is the snow. Like this looks like there is some real snow. And obviously this is something we already hinted at, or that the community already hinted at when the game came out. Like people were wondering, well, we have snow tires, but we have like no real use for those. And that was already a thing where people discussed, okay, maybe we get a Blizzard Mountain type deal where the snow tires will become important. Maybe this is already planning forward to the DLC. And the verdict was, okay, the snow tires will be for the DLC because the base map doesn't really warrant snow tires in Mexico. It really doesn't. So the thinking already was, okay, we will need the snow tires in one of the DLCs, maybe in both. So it was already part of the thinking. Now, whether this snow is really warranting the usage of snow tires, we will see. But we already see here, okay, snow seems to be some sort of emphasis. I mean, look at this, like, there's a lot of snow. And a lot of cliffs to fall off here, left and right. That will also be interesting, especially with rammers, etc. That could be very interesting, unless you have some more or less invisible walls where these rocks here go up and down, and you can't really fly out of a map, you just hit the rocks there, but that would be bad enough. Now, as you have these ramps here going again through the snowy area, so that looks pretty interesting. And we have the lava bit here, obviously the lava already a focus of the main trailer, where we had the volcano being shown and everything. And if we're being honest, the volcano wasn't a big part of the main game. It was a bit gimmicky, but it wasn't really a main part, and the lava wasn't really a main part. Like, it was more or less just for show purposes and a little bit of a gimmick. And let's hope that it plays more of a role here in this DLC. Now, obviously, this is once again just a trailer, so this might just be showing us some nice pictures, and then again it plays no role. But we will see, we will see. Obviously I have forgotten the name of that car, but it looks absolutely marvelous. It's also the cover, one of the cover cars. So here we see several where we had a good shot. We have the loopings where we seem to have tracks over cars. Oh, where we have some actual real racing. That looks like some regular off-road racing, maybe even jumping onto the tracks. So that's something that I can imagine that they are doing is, as we pause here for a moment, what I can imagine is they will implement jumps from the regular terrain to the tracks, to the Hot Wheels tracks, and then back onto the regular terrain. Much like you have the switch in dirt races, where you switch between road and off-road. I can see you switch between like regular racing and then racing on these tracks. So that's going to be interesting. Here we see some regular cars racing as well, and where we have, let's go a moment back, where we have a festival. I forgot what it's called in the Hot Wheels part. But yeah, this is basically the main festival site. It's relatively small, but it looks pretty cool nonetheless. So a really interesting area here, and obviously then leading to the different tracks. So that's really going to be interesting. So a nice looking area there. It's pretty well designed, I must say. And here you can already see it's kind of a construction in the air, so that's pretty cool. There you could see it again. If we just go a moment back, here we have the construction in the air like that looks really cool. And when you have these wide arrays and these wide tracks, and here you can also see we're in the sky. Where are the clouds here? We're above the clouds in the skies. Here you see all these loopings and these tracks going everywhere in all of the different directions, so that looks pretty cool. We can also see the loopings here and the wide array of tracks. Like, this is, the size seems to be reasonably big. Obviously they always take some pride, and that's the trailer, they always take some pride in having pretty big maps. So yeah, and we will continue in the main game. And here we are now in the game, where we can continue talking about it. So there's something fairly interesting in that we already had a Hot Wheels DLC. So I can understand everyone who says, well, we already had that. That's kind of a disappointment. I can get that. On the other hand, there were a lot of people that liked the Hot Wheels DLC, and well, you bring something back that was already liked and maybe improve it. That would be pretty good. I like that they not only bring Hot Wheels cars with the DLC, but also like real cars. Because me personally, I don't like the Hot Wheels cars. I just don't. I don't like the bone shaker that is in the game, or the other thing, the twin thing. I don't even know what it's called. No, I just want to race a little bit. See, I don't... There's a picture to be taken. I don't really like these toy cars. I didn't like it in the Lego DLC. So this is not a Hot Wheels thing. I didn't use the Lego cars ever. Unless I had to for an achievement or something. Or for the accolades. Or whatever they were called in the Lego map. Was it already accolades? I can't tell. Get out of my way. And yeah, I don't like the toy car, so I'm very, very happy that they actually bring some real cars as well, and some pretty good real cars to boot, like, no joke. And in a way that annoys me a little bit, because a lot of these newer cars, they could have been in the main game. Instead, the main game mainly has a copy of the Horizon 4 cars. But at the same time, I also think a lot of the new cars will be coming via festival playlists over time. So we probably don't have a full amount of cars yet. Another thing is the Hot Wheels cars that you get with the DLC aren't all the Hot Wheels cars that are going to be added to the game. So my assumption is we will get festival playlists. Well, obviously we will continue getting festival playlists, but my assumption is that the other Hot Wheels cars that will make it in the game will be festival playlist rewards. Maybe as the next series, or then the one in a month. But I would assume the next series then has kind of a theme looking forward to the Hot Wheels DLC, and then it has the remaining Hot Wheels cars as reward, so that would be my estimation. There will kind of be a class progression system thing, much like in Horizon 3, but Horizon 3 is so far in the past, I really don't recall much of it. Other than I somewhat liked it, but found Horizon 4 much better. Found the map much better. I didn't like the map in Horizon 3 very much. But that's just my opinion. What am I doing? I'm not focusing on racing, that's bad. Now the other cars that were shown, especially the Mazda MT900 GT3, is the one that I really look forward to. Because I really wonder how they implement a GT3 car. That's the thing I'm looking forward to. Now obviously it's not modern day GT3, but it's still a race spec car. I really wonder how they implement that, how the handling is, etc. So it's going to be very interesting. Obviously we will cover the DLC. That's another thing. Obviously I want to cover it, and maybe I'll cover the festival playlists. Now it has been confirmed, sort of, I think, if I remember correctly, that there will be festival playlists again for each world. So also for the Hot Wheels world there will be festival playlists. Hey, maybe we get the first good wheel spin on cam. Not really. Not really. So yeah, maybe we will cover that as well. That's another thing you should not forget. There will be a second festival playlist. So now, obviously some parts are probably going to overlap again, much like it was in Horizon 4. But you will have your own seasonal championships, for example, that you can do then. Which I will then also show. So that's going to be interesting. A lot more content coming up there. And then a short outlook at what could possibly come as a second DLC. Now, I would personally expect, now the pattern seems to be clear. Okay, we make one DLC which is based on kind of a toy fun DLC, and then we make one DLC which is more of a serious DLC and maybe a new island or the mountains or something. And basically I expect the same thing again. I pretty much expect M8 I haven't driven that yet. Pretty cool. Basically that's the same thing I expect this time. Now we obviously have a Hot Wheels DLC already, and people have been discussing from the start that, hey, maybe we get a repeat of Hot Wheels, maybe we get a repeat of Lego, or which other type of toy DLC they could bring out. And the discussions have been there. Now some people obviously made some ridiculous suggestions regarding toy brands that they could do, but Hot Wheels isn't a bad solution. Obviously I'm not a big fan of it, but still it's not a bad solution, as we have some more pictures to take. So that's certainly a thing. And obviously a Lego repeat was probably on the cards, but at least Hot Wheels is a while back and Lego really is not. So no real surprises there. The second one will be probably like on an island, on a mountain range. I mean, obviously Treasure Island had both. It had the mountain range, it was on an island, that was pretty cool. And the blizzard area in Horizon 3 was pretty cool as well. So a more serious DLC is probably on the cards for a second one. Now I have read suggestions, and I hope they don't do that they could combine the toy DLCs and give us one Hot Wheels and one Lego one for this game, but I don't see that coming. I really don't think that's going to be the case. That would be a huge surprise to me. Because, like, a lot of people like the toy DLCs, but a lot of people also dislike them. So I think you kind of have to give both groups there something to work with. So really expect one toy-based one and one, like, real one, so to speak. And what did kind of surprise me is that the Bone Shaker obviously was in Horizon 4 while there was no Hot Wheels DLC, and now in Horizon 5 it was again in the base game while there was no, well, now there is a Hot Wheels DLC, but it was again in the base game. And what surprised me a tiny bit was that there is no, like, Lego Ferrari F40 in this game. That surprised me a little bit. But I don't really feel like the Lego cars were popular at all. I really don't. You basically never saw them. So a lot of the discussion on the forums seems to be a Japan-based DLC, but I think that's kind of a wishful thinking after the Japan map has not come out and it was Mexico instead. Like in the discussions already in Forza Horizon 4, when the discussions were, hey, which location will we pick for 5? So many voices said, Japan, Japan, please Japan. And obviously that was not the case, and now we have rumors of a Japan-based DLC, so I think there's nothing more to that than just these rumors. So yeah, I think we will once again get a more serious one, maybe like, yeah, once again an island with a mountain range, so to speak, in that respect. And probably a fictional one. I don't think they use a real location. But maybe we will. Maybe we will use Japanese mountain ranges. I can't tell you. I don't know. But that, I mean, that would be an idea, and it would fit what they normally do with the DLCs, like have a mountain range, have an island. So that could be it. Maybe with another drift club, who knows? Would fit Japan, right? So that could be an idea. So it's hard to tell, but I really don't expect another Lego one. Like, yeah, they are very happy to copy paste, but I don't see that happening. I really don't. Maybe we get another Blizzard Mountain one, or however the one in Horizon 3 was called. It's so long ago. Who knows these things? Especially since I wasn't recording back then, I didn't really take the game very seriously, or didn't, you know, also didn't play it very much. Yeah, that's another thing. And the trailer itself that we have seen, I wouldn't read too much into it. I've said it during the trailer already. Yeah, they show the lava, they show the snow, but I wouldn't read too much into it just yet. I mean, I mentioned it while we were watching the trailer. They have shown the lava and the volcano a lot in the run-up to this game. And if we're being honest, it doesn't really play a role. It basically doesn't matter. So there is the possibility that that's gonna be the case again. Oi! That possibility exists, and I really would not rule it out. That once again it doesn't play a major role. And that has been a lot of show for the trailer, but not much more. But again, the assumption was from the start that the DLCs will bring a reason for the snow tires. And maybe it was just, hey, we had snow tires, we'll bring snow tires for this game. I don't know. But yeah, that was the assumption. We'll see if it's true. I can imagine it. Like, they did show a pretty wide shot of a snowy area. Whereas with the lava, they more or less showed a very close shot of only a little bit. So it's very possible that we actually get to see some real snow racing. Now, whether you like it or not is a different question, but yeah, that's certainly possible. But all in all, I wouldn't read too much into the trailer. Like, trailers, they look good. That's what they're supposed to do. But they really don't tell you a whole lot about what's coming up, except that we are getting a Hot Wheels based DLC. So yeah, until next time, with maybe more info or another festival playlist or whatever you will watch of me. Farewell.